Welcome to the Determined Mom Show, the only marketing podcast dedicated to guiding mom CEOs into tranquility, wealth, and multiplying those precious moments. Welcome to this episode of the Determined Mom Show. I have with me the lovely Rita Abdallah, and her official title is founder of Turning Point Yoga and Wellness. Welcome, Rita.
Oh, thanks, Amanda. I'm really excited to be here, and Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. I'm very excited as well. And I'm really excited just knowing your background, knowing, what you do in your business and just knowing you kind of personally. I'm really excited about our topic today, which is creating an intention to grow in 2022. And there is no other person that I could think would be better to talk about this with. So I'm excited to figure out what your thoughts are on that.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. So most people, or not only most people, but over the years, most of us come to New Year's with this idea of a resolution, resolving to be better, to do something different, to let go of something or someone, and whether it's to lose weight, stop smoking, etc. And so I would say those are the popular ones. And so over time, I've come to understand that maybe resolution is not the right approach to the New Year's, because over time, it's almost as if people are setting themselves up to fail. And it hurts to fail, even though we know in many success articles and research says that failure actually helps us move into a stronger version of ourselves. But to start that way with that mindset in the new year and not being able to stay committed to that resolution changes somebody, and it may cause somebody to feel poorly about themselves and their ability to stay committed to an activity. And so what I've done with people over time is move them in the direction of intention. And so it's not a pass fail. With intention, it's more like a practice. You go down, you get up, you get down, you get up. So I likened it to yoga. Like you come in, you get on your mat, and you want to practice something. So you practice moving the body, opening the heart, and allowing the breath to participate in this physical activity. And yet you have these emotional, mental, and spiritual benefits when you practice yoga. And it's the same as intentions. So you sit with your intention and you get to breathe into it and allow the emotional, physical, spiritual, mental parts of you to participate in activating or bringing to life this intention. And so the intention now is a living, breathing organism or body of energy that can be shaped and formed based on your creativity, on your excitement for it, and your willingness to trust yourself enough that you can allow that possibility to grow and thrive in your life.
That's awesome. I love the difference between intention and revolution. Or resolution, revolution. Well, that's a whole nother thing. I love that difference between intention and resolution, because resolution sounds like so black and white. It's like, so this is what I'm going to do. There's not going to be any wavering. There cannot be any flexibility, but intention feels like good and warm and like open and like, this is something that I intend to do. And if I don't do it, then it's okay. I'm going to give myself that leeway, like you're saying. And I think that's absolutely important, especially in light of the fact that we've been kind of for 2 years now, almost 2 years, coming up on 2 years, locked into this pandemic. So who would have thought 2 years ago in March that we would be still kind of dealing with this? And it's affected everyone's mental state, financial state, spiritual state, family relationships. I mean, there's so much that has been affected by this. And so I really think that these intentions that you're talking about for 2022 are really important versus those resolutions, because we all have figured out that nothing is plannable. There's like literally nothing that you can do that, you can absolutely say this is 100% going to happen. And we all, as a world, learned that this last couple years.
Absolutely. And I think what word that to encapsulate what you just said is that intentions are fluid and organic in nature. So yes, it is all about the flow. So when you flow with intention, if my intention is to create more peace in my life, and so I'm going to use the lens of peace as I interact with others, as I drive in my car and I'm stuck in traffic, as I'm on the mat and something is distracting me from practicing in a way that I really want to, or I'm meditating and my gosh, my head is just spinning 100 miles an hour and I can't get it to sit still. Well, I either am going to go and straight into that tornado, that mental tornado, and stay there and set myself up for disappointment, or I'm going to say to myself, stop. What is more important than being in the tornado? That is my peace. And I choose peace more than that tornado. I choose peace more than being stuck in traffic. I choose peace more than being distracted. And every time you set yourself up in that choice of peace, peace comes because you ask the flow to come to you in that moment of distraction, frustration, disappointment, whatever that is. And so that's why I love intention, because it's a practice, and you pull it right in that moment where you think that the stress is going to win, or you think that, you're going to get hurt one more time by being in this relationship, or that you're never going to get through all those emails in your inbox. Peace is bigger than your inbox and the relationship that's hurting you. And you got to want it. You got to want it with everything you have. Yeah. And that's where that commitment to flow, that commitment to practice comes in, and it aligns with the body, mind, spirit, emotions, and the spirit. And because you never know which part of us is going to come into chaos or confusion or noise or drama that comes in. And so if it comes in the body and you notice the tension, ask yourself to relax and find peace in the body. If your emotions are out of sorts because somebody said something to you and it really triggered something unhappy in you, stay in the emotion and find peace. Same with the mind and the spirit. It works all the same, but these are the different platforms and the different opportunities. So you can't get mad at being distracted. You can't get mad that there's so many emails in the inbox. What you can do is look at all of those different moving parts, if you will, as opportunities to find peace again.
That's awesome.
You kind of like a switch, like, oh my gosh, yeah, I think that is supposed to find me peace right now,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like like you're saying, in those moments of like stress and like craziness and turmoil, then you just have to think like, okay, I deserve to be peaceful right now. I need that. That's what I deserve. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Just stopping.
Absolutely. It has to be a stop. It has to be a moment of a waking up, because, it's kind of like a dog barking at somebody that's coming at the door, right? They can't hear you because they're so wound up.
Mm-hmm.
Do the same thing. Again, whether it's the body, the emotions, the mind, or the spirit, it's like we just get so wound up and we lose sight of what matters most to us.
Yes.
And so peace. And so however that needs to find its way back to you over and over again, when we're in that moment where we're just can't figure it out, you're now moving into recovery, looking for an answer. Mm-hmm. And that answer is how you get to the other side. So the other side of that noise is peace. And so find the recovery, stop, get yourself where you want to go, and just try again, practice again.
Yeah.
You know,
I really could have used this technique last night when I had a conversation with my mother. That would have been great. Now I can use it the next time I have a difficult conversation, but it would have been like, I can just imagine myself like exactly everything that happened. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I could have totally used this because I was like getting all worked up and could have just, stopped and tried to find that peace. So I'm excited to I'm excited to have another difficult conversation or, have another conflict or whatever, but I am excited to have that tool now.
yeah. And notice, Amanda, I'm glad you brought that up. So you're having that conversation with your mom, and then you notice that there's tension in the stomach, right? That's where a lot of people hold their anxiety, let's call it. And then, oh my gosh, you just got yourself an opportunity. So as you're talking to your mom and she doesn't know you're doing this, maybe one hand goes on the belly and you just put the word peace in there.
That's awesome.
Peace, right?
Yeah.
Because the physical is speaking, move into the physical. If the emotions are speaking, move into the emotions. So find the right, I call it the portal, but there is a path there that just opened up in front of you. And so every time you practice and you teach your body that you're listening to it, your emotions, your mind, the trust starts to build. And you're going to get to the other side and recover more quickly than you did the last time and the time before that. So
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so as we're going into 2022, what are a few tips that you have for us to kind of think about our year, kind of think about it with intention and think about how we would like it to go, what we can do, what are those practices that we can figure out that are going to be the right ones for us to put into place?
Absolutely. Something I do with clients around this time of year is that I draw a line on the ground. And on one side is 2021 and on the other side is 2022. And so what I say to them is this: how are you going to cross that line? What are you going to leave in 21? What do you want to take with you into 2022? Who do you want to leave in 2021? And who do you want to take with you in 2022? So if you went through the who, what, where, when, whys, and how, right? It becomes a very interesting conversation you have with yourself. Or, I'm just thinking about doing something like that with a friend, having that conversation. And the visual of having 2021 on one side and that fine line, literally in time, or a threshold, if you will, that takes us into 2022. How are we going to move? Because the only way we can move is forward. And so whatever that feels that is not pulling us in a forward, or whomever is not pulling us in a forward direction. Again, if we use that example of peace, what is consuming me right now in 21? And what do I want to generate in 2022? So I'm going to take a real look at relationships, identity, work, hobbies, passions. I'm going to look at closets, and seeing what is more peaceful for me. Should I keep this handbag, or is it just another thing that doesn't generate peace for me? So if you look through the eyes of enjoyment and being excited, it's really easy to see what you can leave behind in 21. And let's say that having that, again, I'm using that simple example, but that handbag, I still get excited when I wear it and I enjoy wearing it, right? Well, that thing is marching with me into 2022. So that when I am in 2022, who I'm with and what I'm surrounded by and the things that I choose to practice are things that matter and people that matter. And they matter from a place of, I'm excited to be connected to Amanda in 2022. Yes, we're going to continue to move forward, right? Let's say that there was a friendship in my life that consumes me more than I enjoy it. Well, I'm going to look at it. Maybe it's not about completely eliminating that relationship. That is one option. But what adjustments can I do to find peace in this relationship? Maybe I spend less time with this person. Maybe I need to create some boundaries with that person. Maybe I want to spend more time with that person because I can't get enough of them, right? So allowing that excitement and how you make those tweaks will allow 2022 to become a richer, more enjoyable time in your life, because you continuously go back to this idea of excitement, enjoyment, as well as the intention. And let's say, if I can take that a little further, Amanda, let's say I chose peace in 2022 to practice peace. And by March, I'm like, yeah, this isn't working. I don't enjoy practicing peace. I'm not excited about peace. Well, I'm going to look for something else because I really want this year to be exciting and enjoyable, especially, like you said, after the last couple of years and we're disoriented somewhat. So if I don't have something that keeps me oriented and intention, then I'm going to go get it another way. And so the three that I like to practice or encourage people to practice are peace, love, and joy. So maybe I need to be in love. I need to love myself in 2022. And I'm going to move in ways that allows love to flourish in me and all around me. So maybe love isn't it. Maybe it's joy that I want in my life. And so again, I just move in the place that allows that intention to open continuously, to allow the flow of one of those three, peace, love, or joy, to really move in my life, so that I feel enough, good enough, happy enough, excited enough, and in enjoyment of who and what I am.
Yeah, I love the love and the joy too, adding those two. And I was going to ask you, like, what are some other things that we can try to resonate with and try to kind of emulate in our lives? And those two are really good. And the funny thing is, joy keeps coming up like in a lot of different ways in my life. So it may be that that's going to be my focus this year. I'm not sure, but it just, like, as you said, joy, I was like, oh my goodness, that's like the second or third time I've heard that just today, So it's funny how those things present themselves to us if we are open to receiving them.
Yes, and those are called synchronicities. And so that's how actually, I'm glad you said that. Let's say again, you pick joy for 2022. The synchronicities will continue to come because you're aligned with joy, and you're going to see how joy attracts opportunities and relationships in your life to continue that momentum, that flow of and practice of joy as your intention. And same with love, same with peace. Some other ones that I've practiced over time is gratitude. Another one could be wonder, that idea and of being wonder, that wonder, that state of happy curiosity.
Yeah.
So constant questioning, right?
Yeah.
There's a very fine line between the two. I hope those are a few, ideas that people can play with.
Those are great. When I think of wonder, I think of like, how you see that the world through the eyes of like a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old that's just like so curious and everything's like magical and like, it's so cool. I think that's a really good one too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I am excited. You have something really cool coming up. And can you tell us what that is all about?
Yeah. So for the last couple of years, I have there's a workshop. It's called Light Up 2022. And what we do as a group, so imagine the group acknowledging your intention, and we create it together. So there's a worksheet that moves us through the intention process. And there's some really fun surprises that take place in that workshop. So we start off with a guided meditation where you're sitting down in this very quiet place and you are making contact with that connection, that intention. And so once the contact has been made, we start working through the worksheet and we discuss as a group what our intentions are. And then the group participates and supporting you with your intention. And then we follow up with a short yoga class. So we're not only like imagining the intention, now we're moving the body with your intention. So we're practicing aligning the body, the mind, the breath with this new beginning, this possibility of this new version of you coming forward. And so we're just rooting that in the body, rooting that in the mind and the heart and the breath, so that it has a chance to live and breathe and thrive in the months ahead. And so it's a very special workshop, and the people who attend really want, again, that bigger and brighter version of themselves, so that they can enjoy life and their relationships. So very fun time.
That's awesome. So where, when, give us all the details.
Yes. Oh, when? I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know if you have that nearby, but it's January something.
Yeah, I'm looking and I
Yeah,
can't tell which one it is, but
let me
let me look.
that. Yeah, pardon us for looking away from you all, people.
Yep.
Good people. It's about, I think, it's either an hour and a half or 2-hour workshop, and it's at the yoga studio. It's called Turning Point Wellness and Yoga. And it is, do you want like a address, Amanda? What would you like?
Well, we're going to share the link in the show notes, so you don't have to do that, but I just kind of wanted to give them an idea of the date and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I am having trouble finding it because,
That's because we're so focused on enjoying our conversation and connecting with our friends here. So it's a wellness and yoga studio that I started last January. And that's actually a great story that if you don't mind, Amanda, me sharing. So not this past January, but the January before, my intention at the workshop was to create a house of joy. And so over that period of time, a certain series of events took place. And the space that the studio is in was not listed for rent. And a friend told me about the space. And she said, she's trying to get out of her lease. It wasn't working out. And we walked in and we knew that was the space, the house of joy.
That's
and
awesome.
Everything lined up. Contractors, whatever I needed to make that space happen. And it is truly a very special place that is, again, creating that community of peace, love, and joy. So whether we're practicing on mats or doing private work in the back, but that space literally came because of the intention of to create the house of joy.
That is awesome. I love it. I love when those things happen and everything just kind of flows and you don't even have to worry about anything in that process. That's amazing. And although sometimes it's rare, it feels like that in our lives when, we go through all these big events and things like that, like buying or leasing a studio, like that's a huge event in your life. And just having that process go smoothly is unexpected and very exciting.
Very exciting. And, it was about keeping that mission to inspire peace, love, and joy at the forefront. And when I did that, things happened, as you said, in alignment. And when I got distracted, I had hiccups. And so I just noticed the process along the way and trusted the intention to do the work with me. And that was the big game changer.
That's awesome. I love it. So I looked up the event and it is January 16th of 2022. Oh yeah. 2022. See? Okay. Can I just tell you that I don't know if it's my soul, something is still in January of 2020. Like I still think that it is January of 2020. And obviously my subconscious thinks that too. So I'm just going to add a 2 to everything that I say, and then I should be fine. But yeah. Crazy.
Ain't it though?
It's
just how it goes sometimes. But yeah, you're right. It's January 16th, 1 to 2:30.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rita, for sharing your abundance of knowledge and peace and bringing us the joy of talking to you and hearing your wisdom as far as setting our intentions for this year.
Blessings, Amanda, and blessings to your beloved community that you've fostered and put intention into for so long. I'm glad that it's working out for you, and I wish you and your listeners or viewers a very wonderful 2022.
Yes, thank you, Rita. Don't forget to join our Facebook group, Mastering Google My Business, to increase your revenue. You can go to facebook.com/groups/learngmb, and you will be able to network with other business owners and learn all about the latest and greatest updates to Google My Business. See you there.